Hey crew, so in this video I want to talk about waveframe grenade launchers and specifically the explosive personality versus the forbearance. I have seen so many people talk about forbearance and chain reaction, one of the perks it can get, and yes, it's a super fun combo to watch everything blow up and have a blast with it. But when it comes to more difficult content, something that you might be underleveled for like Grandmasters or Legendary Campaign, and being between 15 and 30 power level lower means we need to survive more than blow things up. By being that much underleveled, Forbearance won't be able to blow everything up anyways, and there are more yellow bars and bosses, and way more enemies with shields in the harder content like Grandmasters. So I wanted to go over the explosive personality waveframe grenade launcher and compare the two, and show you why it is a better pick for anything difficult in Destiny 2. I think the only argument in the harder content for Forbearance might be to deal with arc shields if need be, but at the same time, waveframes handle all shield types pretty well, and our God Roll explosive personality even adds more to breaking of shields and our survivability. So if you guys enjoyed this video or found it helpful, then make sure to hit that subscribe button for me and become part of the crew here. Also, if you want to watch the video for this awesome tank hunter build, stasis hunter build that you see on screen right now, where we're just tanking everything, that will be in the pinned comment down in the comment section, so you can click on that and go give it a watch, and you'll really enjoy it if you haven't seen it, because man, you are a tank. Now I have crafted a explosive personality, and just look how good that Gambit momentum shader looks on it, right? Pretty dang sweet. We have over 4,000 kills in it already, so I have had a lot of time to test everything, and man, this thing is a beast and a monster inside of endgame. Now in the first column here, you are definitely want to go with auto-loading holster. I know people might say feeding frenzy or stats for all, but the time you are spending reloading your waveframe would be way better spent doing something else. Firing off a rocket maybe at a high health target or a champion, or getting some primary damage out as your grenade launcher auto reloads itself is never a bad thing, and with enhanced auto reloader it is that much quicker. As for the forbearance in this first column, you can get ambitious assassin in the first column, which is super nice, but again, after you shoot off 2 shots, you have to reload and waste time doing it when you could be doing something else. So I kind of like auto-loading holster here more than ambitious assassin, but ambitious assassin is a good secondary as far as that grenade launcher goes. In the second column though is a big difference. We have chain reaction on the forbearance, which again is awesome for ad clear, but in endgame we need survivability, so I suggest going with turnabout. It is a super underrated perk, and basically anytime you break an enemy shield, you gain an overshield. This is a true overshield as well, not just a void overshield, and it doesn't even have to match a certain element. It can be any shield, arc, void, or solar, and you can break the same enemy shield multiple times to keep getting an overshield. What's more is turnabout on the new void bow can actually give you an overshield from popping an anti-barrier champion shield as well, which is awesome, and you can pop it multiple times. So that kind of shows you how strong turnabout is, and you can just keep proccing a shield, and it literally lasts for about 10 seconds, and you can always have a shield up because you're always coming up against shielded enemies in harder content. Now, chain reaction on forbearance, like I said earlier, is amazing in the second column, but it's strictly for ad clear, and the harder you go in content, the less ad clear that's going to do, especially when you are being underleveled and hitting yellow bars and bigger enemies. And then in the final column, we have the basic origin traits here, and we have land tank on our explosive personality versus soul drinker on the forbearance. Forbearance requires a reload, which we have established you don't want to be doing, and also if you're in difficult content like a Grandmaster and you need to reload to gain some health and save yourself, then you're probably already dead at that point. If you get behind cover to reload to gain that health safely behind cover, then you could have just waited a second longer for your high recovery to kick in and heal that way. So there's really no reason to be reloading and healing in difficult content, because if you're out in the open and you're going to reload because you need that healing, you will die in a Grandmaster. That's just basically how it is. With land tank though, final blows increase our resilience, so we're gaining stacks of resilience and we get additional damage resistance from enemies. So this stacks up to 3 times, and with the artifact mod that costs 1 energy, we can make this last 10 seconds long, and this resistance stacks on all other resistance in the game like overshields and the resistance from the solar and arc artifact mods, as well as something like Well of Tenacity, extra damage resistance. So we're making ourselves into this tank of a resistance that can also, you know, get that overshield when we need to help out, all while maintaining ad control because of the waveframe, and throw in a few mods like Explosive Wellmaker, so a double kill spawns a solar well, and a mod like Well of Life to get that continuous healing for 10 seconds on top of Land Tank and other resistance, well, you can see where we're going with this. So Land Tank stacks up to 3 times, and it takes 3 kills to hit that max stack, but every time you get a kill, it resets the timer to 10 seconds as long as you have the mod from the artifact on. And it is a 15% damage reduction just flat out, which is great, not including getting the overshield. So with the nerf to Protective Light, we're trying to find resistance wherever we can. Well of Tenacity is good, but again, it requires a Void Well, and it only lasts for about 4 seconds or 5 seconds. And even with time dilation, that mod that extends it, it only goes up to 9 seconds. So it's definitely a harder resistance to handle. But if we build into Land Tank, which is a 15% damage resistance already, while applying overshields to us, right, when we break shields, and then also increasing our resilience, base resilience value, which is just great, throw that on top of resistance from the artifact on our chest piece, double up on that, especially if you have Artifice Armor, and then throw in a Concussive Dampener or a Sniper Resist as well. You can just see that you can just resist upon resist upon resist, and then add extra stuff into there like Well of Tenacity or something like that if you want to, or like I said, Explosive Wellmaker and Well of Life combined by getting a double kill, and always have continuously healing while you have all that resistance will keep you alive. And that's kind of what you're seeing on the screen, and what you're seeing in the background on these gameplay clips is that build and how it's working all together and keeping you alive. And then on the Hunter here, we're using those Stasis Gauntlets to add a little bit more to it. But that's kind of the case I wanted to make to you guys with these 2 grenade launchers. Both are great, okay? Both are wave frames, very good ad clear in general. The Forbearance is great for your normal red bars, having fun and activities and just mowing through enemies. It's awesome, and it looks really cool. But I really believe Explosive Personality is better in endgame content for a lot of different reasons that I just went over and named. And the last thing I wanted to make a point of is, 1, you only need 3 frames for Explosive Personality instead of 5 for Forbearance. Also, Forbearance only comes from the raid. You have to have a 6-man team. You have to get in there and you have to be raiding and doing it multiple times to at least 5 weeks in a row, most likely, to be getting your 5 frames for Forbearance. But you can easily solo farm Explosive Personality from the new PsyOps Battlegrounds playlist through the Helm. So it's an easier way to achieve a grenade launcher that is just as good as Forbearance, but better in endgame, in my personal opinion. So I think that's a really good trade-off there, is that it's a much easier way to farm one, and you can farm it solo than the raid one, and yet it still is going to perform in endgame better than the raid one, which I think is really awesome. Now the pulse rifle from the raid and like the SMG from the raid, those things are amazing, so I would still be getting a raid group together and trying to get in there. But that's just another option for you guys, so you don't technically always have to be saying I need every single raid weapon, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. There'll be a couple videos up on screen that you might not have seen before. Go give them a watch. If you have any comments or questions, leave them down in the comments below, and I will try to answer them for you. And yes, everyone has their own opinions, so please keep it nice. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching my content. You guys have definitely made this last month of Witch Queen absolutely amazing. You've really supported me on the videos, so thank you guys if you're still watching right now. I really appreciate it. I'll see you all in the next video.